Well, at least there's no shootout in the Don't you dare say that word! Ah! You're welcome! Look at this finally! Good old Canadian fire.
Country!
Deal with it.
Elon Smash!
Owen Grabowski.
GTFO.
I got it from afar. Leafs lose 3-2 in the shootout to the New York Rangers. However, they take 3 of 4 and they're home and home with the Rangers. You lose back-to-back games in regulation against the Rangers, you're in some trouble. You take 3 of 4 and you're that much closer to... I dare you! I double dare you! Pretty good hockey. After an uneventful first, Kessel opens up the scoring, 1-0 Leafs. Carl Hagelin, who had a really good game, you should read about him in the post-game blog, and then Ryan McDonough scores, Rangers go up 2-1. Which brings me to the question of the game here, and it doesn't have much to do with the game, of any of the teams currently in an Eastern Conference spot, in the top 8 of the Eastern Conference, who would you want to play? And that's not really if you're the Leafs, if you're anybody. Who's excited to play the Rangers right now? Who's excited to play the Islanders? A few days ago I was talking about on Twitter how no one was talking about Ovechkin's hot streak until this past week. Stamkos hasn't really been talked about this season. John Tavares? Nothing. The Sens? I just never know with those pesky little bastards. And if some of the guys that are hurt come back, forget it. The Leafs, say what you want about them, but they found a way to win all season long. Same with the Habs, but more so. If you want to take on an Alex Ovechkin that has found a way to score more than a goal a game and a resurging Braden Holtby, be my guest. The Bruins without Marchand and Bergeron are still way better than most teams in the league. And the same goes for a pretty banged up Penguin squad who's still going to get some players back. Which brings me to the beginning of the video. James Van Riemsdyk to Phil Kessel. Beautiful goal, even though he didn't know he scored it. Taking the game to overtime, Henrik Lundqvist robs Nazem Kadri, so that takes us to something that is not going to exist in a couple weeks. The shootout. Now, all season long, I've been harping on, oh, the Leafs should have lost this game. Here's what they need to improve on, even though they're winning. Advanced stats this, advanced stats that. And a lot of you are looking at me all pissed off because you're like, but they're winning, stupid. I have a similar frustration with the shootout. I was reading an article on SB Nation. I think it was Broad Street, so the Flyers sect of that. If I can find the link, I'll put it in the underbar. But it's basically, there's no evidence to prove that the shootout is anything more than a crapshoot. The statistics suggest that, yeah, okay, there's some skill involved, obviously, but no one is really better at it than others. And they show you the stats. The numbers are right in front of me to look at and read them and learn. But in my head, I'm just like, that's impossible. Do you realize if the Leafs don't have a shootout for the rest of the season, Tyler Bozak would have been the only Leaf to have scored a shootout goal this year? And even if they do have another shootout, that might still be the case. Nazem Kadri has disgusting hands. But like I said before, he's got 2 moves. He finally goes to try something different and he loses the handle. Bad luck, Naz. And Mikhail Grabowski's shootout attempt looked, it made me sad. But if you look at Matt Zuccarello's goal, the one that won the Rangers the shootout and may be the key point in getting them into the playoffs, he just skates in kind of slowly and puts it 5-hole. If Reimer gets a piece of pad on that and stops it, we'd be like, that sucked. And then I was reading some people on Twitter going, well, that's because the Rangers have Lundqvist and the Leafs have Reimer. And I'm like, really? Reimer has out-goaltended Lundqvist in back-to-back games now. Post-game blog. But I have a theory on shootouts that may bring the advanced stats community and the people who don't like it together. What if the Leafs can't win a shootout because it's penance for all the games in regulation that they shouldn't win but do? Mind blown, right? The Leafs are like last year's Panthers but flipped around, which would explain the snow in April. You know what? Second question of the game. I'm going to end the video here and it's going to piss a lot of people off. The question is, will we one day see the shootout in the playoffs? And if you think so, how far away are we? Imagine that, getting eliminated because of the shootout. Well, okay, Leafs fans don't have to imagine very hard. Dublowitz! Okay, well, how about this? Imagine one day the Stanley Cup is awarded because of the shootout. Let me know. Post-game blog in the underbar. Thanks for watching.